Well, it's Wednesday, the 5th of May, and it's eve of poll. And I've been thinking about the message that's appropriate to Scotland on the day before polling day. And I want to address some remarks in particular to the, well, let's call it the independence family. That 50% or more of Scots who are already convinced of the case for independence are looking for when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. And we, like everybody else in Scotland tomorrow, will take the future of our country into our hands. We have 2 ballot papers. I should say I've already voted. And I know what to do with the constituency ballot paper, the first ballot paper. I voted SNP because it's right and proper that the SNP win the overwhelming majority of the constituency seats on which they shall base a majority. Now, it's quite clear from the recent opinion polls, whatever else is clear, that the SNP are going to do that. And that means inevitably, as a matter of arithmetic, they're going to get nothing at all on the regional list. So when we take that second ballot paper for independent supporters into our hands, the one that's variously described as peach or orange or somewhere in between the two, that ballot paper, then of course there is only 2 independent supporting parties on that ballot paper, apart from the SNP, who are going to gain nothing. And an SNP vote, remember, sometimes described as a wasted vote on the second ballot paper. It's actually worse than that. An SNP vote on the second ballot paper actually lets Unionists, Labour and Tory MSPs in by the back door. That's what will happen if people vote SNP on that second ballot paper. And therefore the choice is basically between the Green Party and Alba. Now, the Green Party are a fine, estimable party. They have a range of positions which are right and proper in the environment, as we recognise the greatest challenge facing humanity is in climate change and the things that have to be done in Scotland. But the Green Party are not first and foremost when it comes to gaining independence for Scotland. Indeed, at a variety of times in a variety of ways. I remember back in 2007 when Patrick Harvie and Robin Harper were the 2 Green MSPs and agreed to go into a confidence supply arrangement with the incoming minority plurality SNP government led by myself. Patrick Harvie was sort of keen on perhaps having an independence referendum at some time. Robin Harper was a dyed-in-the-wool unionist, a lovely man, but a dyed-in-the-wool unionist, and the Greens are still totally divided on the independence question, which is why the leadership is lukewarm. They're soft on independence, whatever other attributes they may have. So for people who believe that independence is a priority, something which has to be put forward with urgency, then the only vote for Scottish independence on that second peach or quite orangey ballot paper is for Alba. Number 2 on the ballot paper, down a list of about 20 names in most regions, or 20 names of parties, is Alba, the new kid in the block, the plucky underdog of Scottish politics, the people who are trying to gain a bridgehead in the Scots Parliament to develop some urgency into the independence case. So when members of the independence family take the future of Scotland into our hands tomorrow, then think of Alba, think of the party injecting urgency into the independence debate, and think of how different the perspective will be if the SNP are not just facing the insipid support of the Green Party and the outright hostility of the ragtag and bobtail Labour, Tory, Liberal, Democrat unionism, but actually a party which is striving to push things forward, to encourage things on, to look for the unity in the independence movement, which is going to have a coalition of parties and interests putting forward the case, but putting it forward with urgency and determination. So put your cross beside Alba. Take the future of Scotland into our hands and make sure that Alba is rising across Scotland.